It was between me or these books. And these books gotta go. I'm choosing me. As Brie would say, put you first. And so I'm putting me first. Hey y'all, welcome back to Bookishrealm, or welcome if you're new here. I am Ashley, and surprise, surprise, I did my first unhaul this year, and I'm back doing another unhaul. I don't know what all that was. I sound like just grunting and groaning. I'm back with another unhaul because at the end of the day, like, I just feel like my collection is getting just a tad bit out of control, and I need to start weeding. I'm a whole librarian out here, and I don't even really weed my collection the way I should be weeding my collection. I weeded my collection when I moved here about a year ago. It's almost been a year since I've been living in this house, and I did this a year ago, and here we are. You know, I need to do better collection maintenance. That's what I do, and I don't even do that for my own. We're not finna get into that. Anyway, I have a stack of books here that they got to go. It's to the left. Everything I own, not everything I own, but some of the things I own to the box is going in the box to the left because it's got to go. I got a box of books here, or a stack of books, not a box. I got a stack of books here, which, as y'all know, some of the books that I unhaul, I either give away to people who want to read them, or I take them to a secondhand store, get credit, or I see if we have space in our collection for me to possibly add them. Now, don't do that with your library, because libraries don't all do that. I'm on the inside, so don't take this as a... I saw Ashley talk about this. I'm going to take my books to the library and see if everybody not built the same. We don't all work like that. We don't even really do that. So... I'm coming from an internal perspective. All right, so yeah, I do have a stack of books here that pretty much they have to leave. Some of them, I think, duplicates. Some of them, some of these are duplicates. Some of them I'm just like, I'm just never gonna read these, and they deserve a better home than to collect dust and to sit here and for me to never read them. I mean, at this point, I just feel like my physical collection is just getting a little out of pocket compared to, like, it's crazy how much I read every single year, and then when we look at the percentage of the collection that I own, that I read from every year, it's out of pocket. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the first book. I have quite a few Book of the Month books. We all know that I do work with Book of the Month from time to time. And so I'm glad that they have slowed us down on the number of books that we could select from them every single month. Because let me tell y'all something. 5 books a month, it was a lot. Getting every selection, it was a lot. Because I was getting stuff that I just was not finna read. So this is one of them. This is The Good Left Undone by Adriana Trigiani. This is a well-known author. I know a lot of people who read this author, both in context of here on social media as well as in the library. I just don't. It's not that I don't care. No, I really just don't care. It's just not gonna be something that I pick up and read, to be honest with you. It's not high on the priority list. I'm a recondo my shelves, and I just looked at this and I was like, we just don't have a connection. I couldn't tell you what this book is about at this point, so it's gotta go. The next one is The Unsinkable, Greta James by Jennifer E. Smith. Now, I'm familiar with Jennifer E. Smith because she's done a lot of young adult fiction, but once again, Book of the Month. What am I going, child? No. I read the description of this one. I mean, I guess this sounds interesting to some, but not really. No. This is not up my alley. So I'm just gonna leave it. The next one that we got on this list, I actually read this book this year, and I've owned this book for a while, but the person who's on this cover, me and him got beef, and so I feel like he's toxic and he's bringing toxic energy to my household. So when I thought about whether he needed to go or not, he had to go, because I don't even like looking at his face on my shelf no more. I done read it, I done talked about him, I done dragged him for filth on the internet, and so it's time for him to leave, and that is Mr. Pan. Mr. Peter Pan. I sound like Nene. Peter. Mr. Peter Pan has to go because he's toxic, he's rude, he's nasty, he's unlikable, and I will never, ever, 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 ever read this book again. I did a whole video on this book a few months ago. Don't ask me the month. Time is a funny thing. Since the pandemic started, I have no concept of time. But I did read this, and I did a full analysis on Peter Pan. And yes, you know, it's written for his time and yada yada yada. We're just not going to. I just don't like Peter. So if I don't like Peter, why would I keep Peter on my shelf? He's got to go. And I think that this is one that I think inevitably I'm probably just going to have to recycle because he's in pretty bad condition. Like spine falling apart, like the bindings coming apart. And yeah, this is, I mean, this is a copy and it has water damage. Ooh, child, no, I did not have this on my shelf with water damage. I didn't even see, not curating my own collection management, and I don't even do that. But yeah, I think this is a copy that I actually got from the UK. If y'all did not know, I have family. My dad, born and raised UK, also Jamaica. Long story. Y'all don't really care about that. But Peter's going. Next thing I have here is Miss Nancy Drew. I do want to read Nancy Drew. I actually think I have a Nancy Drew book on hold right now at the library, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not gonna collect the rest of these. Why do I have this on my shelf? This is probably book number 576 in the Nancy Drew mini spin-off series because there's like 50 million of them. No purpose is served with this. If I really want to read this that bad, I will get it from the library. There's a child in this world that is more deserving of this book, that is going to want this book over me. Now this next one is a surprise because I like this book. I like this series. I like this author. So you're probably like, girl, why are you getting rid of the book if you like the book, you rated the book high. I think I gave the book 5 stars. You like the author, you like the series, but you're getting rid of the book. Because I don't see myself getting the rest of the series. I don't know if I ever really see myself rereading it. And I think that that's something that I'm thinking about as a whole right now. Like, am I going to reread books? If they have rereadability. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Oh. If this is a book that I think has potential to be reread, then yes, you know, I think I would have kept it, but I don't plan on acquiring the rest of the series. When I read the series, I had planned on reading this physically, but I ended up listening to the audiobooks, which were really, really good. Like I said, like the author, like the book, like the series, but I just don't see myself keeping a copy of A Lot of the First Adventurer, which is the first book in the Lioness Quartet, the Song of the Lioness Quartet. I don't see myself rereading the series. I like it, but I don't know if I would revisit it in the future. And if I do, I probably would just get the audio from the library like I did the first time around. I just keep looking at it on my shelf like, why do I just have this first book in the series and I'm not getting the rest? And that's usually a good indication for me that something probably shouldn't be there. Because if I really, really like a series and I read it through the library first, I usually get the copies after, because I really love it and I want to reread it at some point, possibly annotate. But I did not get that energy. Remember Marie Kondo and everything? I didn't get that energy from this book. So I think that we could actually use a copy of this in our system. And this is, I never read this physically. It is in perfect condition. So it could, you know, go back to the community. Next one that I have, you know, I appreciate Celadon. They're a great publishing company. They just send me a lot of stuff unsolicited, which I'm not complaining about because I know a lot of people would love that. But sometimes they send me stuff that I'm not necessarily interested in. They'll just send me stuff like, hey, we think you might like this book and here you go. And so they ended up sending me Beyond That the Sea. And this is an art copy. So I probably will pass this along to someone else who wants to read the book. Can't sell art copies. I'm not going to get rid of it because it's in perfect condition. Like never been read or whatever. And I actually do have an audio copy of this one, so I don't need to have the physical copy. I highly doubt this is one that I'm going to want to go back and reread. It is historical fiction that takes place during World War II, which, you know, I do like a good World War II historical fiction book, but in terms of getting to this anytime soon, it's not looking too good for Beyond That the Sea, you know. It's just not looking too hot. Next is one that I literally just got this book and I feel so bad unhauling it, but I think this is another one where I literally took it out the box and I'm like, yeah, I'm not keeping it. Because this one was another one that was sent to me unsolicited. I read this book and did not like it, so I'm not gonna keep it because I didn't enjoy it. I think it would be better served in a new home where, you know, literally fresh, beautiful paperback copy. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. But I read this book years ago from the library and didn't enjoy it. And it's unfortunate, but it is Furyborn, which is the first book in the Imperium trilogy by Claire Legrand. I got this unsolicited as a kind of Pride book box, and I kept the rest of the stuff that was in that box because it was stuff that I was interested in, but having read Furyborn and not being a fan of it, it cannot justify keeping it. What is the purpose of me keeping something that I know I didn't like? The only book, oh God, because there's nothing I can do with it. The only book that I have in my collection that I read that I do not like at this point, besides Peter, is Tomi Adeyemi's second book, whatever it's called, Children of Virtue and Vengeance. Y'all, the only reason why I haven't gotten rid of that book is because I annotated it. If past me knew what present me is currently dealing with when it comes to that series, I would have never put ink to paper. But as a rule of thumb, I do not keep books that I did not enjoy reading, so here's that. The next one that I am, or the next three actually, let's talk about this next three. The next three that I am unhauling are because they're literally all duplicates. I don't keep multiple copies of books in my collection. I know that y'all, like, some of us do that. That's fine. Some of y'all are, you know, hardcore collectors. You like different editions. You like multiple copies of a book because one copy you may annotate and one you want in pristine condition. That's never been me per se. I'm not a exclusive collector edition type of person. Like, you know, Fairy Loot, Owl Crate type situation. I just don't care enough. And so these are duplicates that I have that I just don't need to keep because I have a copy of them already and they would be better served in another location, or, you know, with some other people who may want to read them. So love the series. First one, I usually do not unhaul from this shelf right here. Y'all know that it is expensive to buy comics, manga, and graphic novels, and I do not make it a habit to unhaul any of that stuff because a lot of that stuff is from my own pocket. I don't have any deals with anybody in terms of publishers where I get stuff unsolicited. This is stuff that I purchased. So somehow, some way, I ended up with a duplicate copy of the Apothecary Diaries. I'm not sure how that happened. I just noticed it. I was like, why do I have two copies of volume 2? This is an excellent manga series. Love, love, love Apothecary Diaries. But I don't need two copies of volume 2. Like, I don't need two copies. It's just not necessary at all. So somebody else can get a copy of this if they need it. The next one I have is I think this is like a horror slash thriller. It is one that I'm interested in reading because it's kind of a like transformation, apocalyptic, dystopian. I don't know if it's zombie or not, but it's one that I am interested in reading. But I think that I was accidentally sent two copies by accident, and that is This Delicious Death. This is the same author of My Dearest Darkest, Kayla Cottingham. So I literally have a copy of this one on my shelf over there. I'm not sure. I got sent these two copies two separate times. I think sometimes I end up on multiple lists for people and they accidentally send me multiple copies to give, because nobody ever says like, here, we're sending you two copies because it's a giveaway. Like, no. I wish they would take that dog from outside and bring that dog in that house, because every time they put that dog outside, all that baby does is complain. Listen, bougie dog, I get it. I feel it. I don't like being outside in the weather either, but it's disturbing to sit down and film and that dog's outside barking like that. So, I am interested in reading this one, but like I said, duplicate copy. I definitely, like, there's just no reason for me to have two copies. And I think that that's another one, like, perfect condition. It's not a, this is not a ARC copy. So I do feel comfortable possibly thinking about this one being added to our collection as well. I couldn't tell because I think most of the books that they send me come in paperback, and I always get so nervous because I'm like, I hope this is not an art copy because I don't want to accidentally make this mistake, but it doesn't have any notations that it is an art copy. Okay, so this next one that I am unhauling is one that I have a prettier copy of, which I'm not, like I said, I'm not the one that's really like, oh, I gotta buy this copy because it's got sprayed edges and it's got different, you know, cover, and it's got these new end papers. I don't shade anybody. I don't take that as shade. I don't shade anybody who does collect those things. I just don't have the financial, you know, freedom to be able to do that. But every now and then I will get sent a copy that's absolutely gorgeous and has, you know, sprayed or decoed edges or whatever the case may be. And this is one example, and I'm going to show you the edition that I have. So it is the Nightline Express. This is a queer fantastical story that takes kind of like a play on the Pony Express, which as a history major, I'm kind of like, you're hitting every single check box. So I got this copy to showcase on my Instagram. Then I was also sent this copy. So you can see the cover changes, which I like the blue in this one. I think it offsets the actual art on this a little bit better. And then this is one that has those special designed edges that I think are absolutely gorgeous compared to this. So of course, naturally, my instinct was to keep this copy and then give this copy away. It's in perfect condition, so this would be better off in someone else's home. All right, y'all, so those are some of the books that I'm unhauling. I will put them in a stack, like right down on the floor beside me, make some decisions about how I'm gonna redistribute those books. But I just wanted to let y'all know, like, you know, unhauls might be a thing on this channel now because I need to get better at collection maintenance of my own collection. I can't believe it's what I do for a living and I don't even do it with my own collection as much as I should. I should be doing collection maintenance at least once a month. And here we are, like, doing it like every 3 to 6 months. It's horrible. It's horrible. That's how your collection gets cluttered and yikes and nasty and all types of stuff. But anyway, let me know any books that you've recently got rid of from your collection down in the comment box below. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. And if you're looking for ways to follow me on social media or support this channel, all the links will be down in the description box below, and I'll be back with another video soon.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down.